Saving dogs on death row, that's what Marley's Mutts is aiming to do. This says Kern County's animal shelters have some of the highest euthanasia rates in the country. Marley's Mutts is a nonprofit organization. Zach, sorry about that, is the executive director. Zach, how did this all come about?
Marley's Mutts came about after I had a nice little battle with end-stage liver disease. I'd been doing some work before I got sick with the Tehachapi Humane Society and other nonprofit organizations in Kern County as kind of a last-ditch attempt to find something I was passionate about. Alcohol and drugs kind of got in the way, and my liver failed. So I spent a long time at the hospital here in Bakersfield Memorial, and long story short, after I was released from comprehensive transplant at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where I'm still a patient, still a transplant patient, I used my dogs, my rescue dogs, to help get me back up and running, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I was bankrupt. By bankrupt, I mean as rock bottom as you can get. You know, my soul was barely intact. I was very, very physically ill, bordering mortally ill. I mean, I was as sick as you can get. And I needed something to help me deal with life sober, and some kind of motivation to kind of get out there and work on getting better. And my dogs are what did it for me. They showed me how to love myself when I couldn't, and that's how it kind of all naturally evolved, was giving back to those dogs that saved me.
What do you mean by they showed you how to love when I couldn't?
I think most people can relate when I say I have a self-confidence problem. I'm an egomaniac with an inferiority complex. So I have kind of a perpetual self-confidence problem, and that's all I can think about. You know, I don't think much of myself, but that's all that I think about. And that kind of nagging lack of self-worth will get to somebody. You know, we only have so many ways to cope with that kind of self-loathing. And I really just didn't like myself. I'd spent a lifetime of alcohol and drug addiction, abuse, and all the torrential, everything that comes with that, which are all negative things.
Right.
You affect your family, your friends negatively, yourself, all the expectations and hopes and dreams that you've had, you know, are gone. And I didn't know how to live. And my dogs really, I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how to look in the mirror and be okay with what I saw. I didn't know how to fall asleep at night or wake up in the morning being okay with who I was. I still don't completely. You know, I can absolutely tolerate myself, and I have tools these days. But then you know, existing was very difficult for me, and contemplating suicide was an everyday occurrence. You know.
So these dogs just, you know, they just showed love unconditionally.
Yeah,
and
everybody.
That's what something just said.
Yeah, it was.
Gotta get out of this.
Well, I needed to walk. As a comprehensive transplant patient, I looked 9 months pregnant with this condition called ascites. When your liver fails, your belly fills up with blood and bile because your liver is no longer processing blood or bile correctly. So, and you're bright yellow and purple because you bruise very easily. Wow. I didn't have any cognitive whereabouts to me. Couldn't have a conversation properly. I couldn't walk. But I needed to get out and walk in order to work off this condition, this ascites, which I was getting tapped. I had a catheter that was tapping this. This is a very, very serious physical situation. Physically,
Absolutely.
Spiritually, emotionally, all of it. And the dogs were the only thing that really, I mean, they looked at me every day. The whole time I was in the hospital, Tug didn't leave the yard. This is one of my rescue dogs. He literally just waited out there for me. My dad would be at my hospital bed, and the thing he would tell me, you gotta come home, son. I can't get Tug to come in the dang house, you know. Aww. And they were by me. You know, when I got home, when I got released from Cedars and came home they said, you know, stay near an emergency room and get out walking. And I couldn't do that on my own. And the dogs just every day looking at me with that wagging their tail. What are you do today, Dad? What's happening today, Dad? You look good today, Dad. You look better than yesterday, Dad. You know, just love me regardless. You know, regardless of what I was feeling inside, which is I'm the biggest piece of you know what on the planet. You know, I just couldn't stand myself. And they don't let you. They're relentless in their kind of pursuit of acceptance, of getting you to accept yourself.
And you wanted to show them love by having Marley's Mutts.
Yeah, I wanted to pay back the favor to the rescue dogs that helped me. And it really didn't come from me. Not much of what's happened in my life has been born of in my brain. The name Marley's Mutts wasn't me. It was this gal, Sarah, who worked at the pet lodge in Tehachapi. And what happened was people just, you're pretty good at this, kiddo. You should do that. You should keep doing that. Doing what? Taking pictures of dogs and fostering dogs and writing stories. I used to write these stories about each dog that we took in, each rescue dog. Depending on the shelter that they came from, their circumstances. I'd write up these comical stories about their life, wanted posters that I put up all over town. And that was how I got started. It wasn't a nonprofit organization. They don't just give nonprofit designation to, drunks with
It is
dreams.
now a nonprofit, and as I said earlier, but it is focused on helping those dogs that are literally, they're going to be euthanized, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we do. We rescue dogs from Kern County animal shelters here. For the last 5 years, we've been nonprofit. We've existed for the last 6. And that's what we do. We focus on, there are 3 county shelters here, the Kern River Valley, Mojave, and Bakersfield. And then there are about 9 municipal shelters, all of which are kill shelters, all of which euthanize in excess of 50% of the dogs that come in through their doors. Which is a pretty alarming statistic. If 1 out of every 2 kids that went to high school didn't graduate, that would be alarming. If they didn't leave there alive, we'd be. You can imagine that's the statistic we're dealing with. And not too long ago, just a few years ago, it was 80%.
Oh wow.
And in the last couple of years, with the hard work that the Kern County supervisors have put in, Leticia Perez, Zach Scrivener, and Nick Cullen over at Animal Control, Cheyenne, Blake. All these people have created a united front with Marley's Mutts, and we're making a difference. We've dropped the numbers 20% in the last couple of years. So that's thousands and thousands of dogs' lives saved.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to talk to you more about how much of an impact your organization is having, and how does it get to the point where dogs are euthanized, as well as the other components of your program. So I do want you to stay with us after this short break. So coming up, find out how some of these rescue dogs are coming to the rescue of others. Stay with us. We will be right back. Welcome back. Rescue dogs that are part of Marley Mutts are being used to help others in a therapeutic way. Zach Scow, the executive director, remains with us to give us more insight. Of course, we have someone new, Slipper. Tell us about Slipper, first of all.
Little Slipper was rescued from the Kern County Animal Shelter here in Bakersfield. She was found with her little brother in a television, ironically enough, at the end of a cul-de-sac, like a hollowed-out television. She was born to be a star, so we figured, let's get her on camera. But yeah, our friend Amy is fostering her, just like most of our dogs are in foster care with people in this community, from Ridgecrest to Bakersfield to Tehachapi to Lake Isabella. Shout out to Holly Clark.
That's such an exciting part of a component of your program. Let's focus on how they're used as rescue dogs, first of all.
Sure.
I know that they're helping in a therapeutic way. How so?
Yeah, well, what we aim to do is give back exactly how the dogs helped save me and provide me with that love, comfort, emotional, that kind of variable, that X factor that only dogs can supply, that unconditional love that knows no boundaries and knows no prejudice. It's just there for you at all times. And we can really tap into that. So we use our rescue dogs to help rescue people in a variety of ways. We take them to schools to just talk about general education, canine wellness, spay and neuter. We also take them to centers for developmentally disabled, physically disabled, post-traumatic stress, autism, any way you can harness the canine-human bond, we seek to do that.
Zach, have you ever witnessed a time when you realize they have just how strong of an impact they are really making therapeutically?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hooch, we have a dog whose tongue was cut out. He's my personal dog, and we use him in a variety of capacities. And in the way most of the children that he interacts with at the Valley Achievement Center here at Bakersfield have nonverbal autism and are unable to really have dogs in their life. These are kids that have social kind of boundaries erected because of their conditions and because it's difficult for their parents to get them in an environment where they can have dogs. And Hooch really provides that stepping stone, that first interaction, that first positive interaction. And he's a big French Mastiff, so he's 95 pounds. He's got no tongue. His ears were cut off. He looks scary. And these kids, to watch them develop is really impressive. You want to go to mommy? Go to mommy.
Now there's a bye, Slipper. Okay, maybe she'll hang out a little bit.
Oh, she'll chill. She's good.
So I know there's an adoption component and a foster care component. Tell us about the adoption process, first of all.
Yeah, adoption process is pretty simple. You go to our website, marleysmutts.org, and you go to adoptable dogs, and you see a dog that's up for adoption, and you fill out the form. You'll be contacted by Amanda, who's our foster and adoption coordinator. And we'll reach out to you, answer any questions you have, arrange a meet and greet. It's really pretty simple. You know, we can get us on the phone.
The dogs are trained as well, right?
Oh, to a certain degree. I mean,
but the training
Slipper here, for instance, she will have lived in a home. She will have been acclimated with other dogs. Some of our dogs are completely trained, you know, are very well trained. Others, you know, like Slipper's a puppy. She's a whatever 12-week-old puppy. You're not going to expect much from her.
But there is training provided to some degree? Yeah,
we have several trainers, Lisa Porter, Liz Cover, that work with us that are all part of our team. And again, all these dogs have gone from the shelter to a home environment. So they've lived in a home for weeks, sometimes months before being adopted. So
now
obviously
let's talk about the foster care component. How does that all work?
Well, you fill out a foster application. You have some people from our crew come by your house and check it out. Make sure that you're not, you know, barbecuing dogs or having any kind of, you know, just to make sure that double check, make sure things are copacetic, make sure you have a fence, make sure you that everything's good, and you fill out an application. We get you processed, have you sign a waiver, and in most cases people come to the shelter with us and can pick out the very dog that they want to foster. And the barbecuing dogs is actually a pertinent topic because we just teamed up with Soy Dog Foundation, which is a rescue overseas that rescues dogs from the meat trade. So we just officially announced a partnership with them to work on. They're rescuing dogs from Korea and Thailand that are part of the meat trade. So
oh wow,
that seemed like an off-putting barbecue.
Yeah, I was wondering. It's like, where is that coming from? But you know what? That's actually, you know, it was on your mind for a reason. Yeah. I mean, you're working hard at making a difference in the lives of not just the dogs in our area, but the dogs, you know, the dogs everywhere.
Yeah, we're trying to shift the paradigm. That's what we're trying to do is change the way people in Kern County feel about their dogs and shift that paradigm from a possession, you know, a thing that is supposed to provide you with protection or whatever, and make it more of a family member, you know, something that a life that's truly to be cherished, not a possession, but you know, the absolutely precious soul that we are really, really bonded to, and that in my case and in many other people's cases we owe so much to, and we can learn so much from. You know, using dogs in our lives, we can really just make us better people. And there's nothing, you know, you're a teacher. So one thing that you're aware of is we're always looking for creative ways to get kids to remember certain topics and to understand compassion and to trend away from bullying and ideas like that. And using dogs as a conduit to explain a lot of those topics is very, very impactful.
Now, I know that on your website you have an area where it said, Ask Dr. Josh. What is that all about?
Josh is one of our veterinarians. So Dr. Josh is Tehachapi Veterinary's finest. His name's Dr. Frang. His first name's Josh. And,
so people can just log on, I mean, or just send a message and say, hey, I have this I have this question.
As long as it's dog related. I'll answer any question, but Josh will only answer veterinary dog-related questions. And
how is that working? Are you getting a lot of people asking questions?
People, yeah. We have a very interactive group of followers. So we get thousands of emails, literally. Yeah.
So these people are actually getting their questions. How often are
I mean, I don't know. That's just one feature of our website. We have so many features of our website, from Ask Dr. Josh to my blog to our adoption updates to Miracle Mutts. We have 3 divisions. Marley's Mutts is composed of 3 divisions. Our spay and neuter, which has been alive for the last year and has spayed 1,200 dogs for low-cost families. We've teamed up with Kern County and 1,200 dogs is that's a big deal. That's a big difference. It takes a long time. We've had a lot of bumps in the road, but we've made it happen, and we've created a really spectacular team that knows what they're doing and that fires on all cylinders. Aside from that, we've got our normal rescue and rehab, which we rescue about 350 dogs a year from local shelters. And then we've got our Miracle Mutts program, where we take our rescued dogs that are certified therapy and service dogs, and we take them all around, anywhere, any of the people that are watching that want to have our team come to your schools, to your center for education, to your facility, institution, whatever, we'll email us and we'll show up.
Zach, thank you for what you do. Wish you much, much more success.
Thanks.
And thank you for watching. We will be right back. Stay with us.